Tanya Perry from the City of Troy Fire Department, and we're here today to present you with some safety information on grilling outside with your charcoal grill, your propane grill. We want to make sure from the Troy Fire Department that you're going to do that safely. We're going to put on some demonstrations with my assistant, who you'll meet a little bit later, Fire Technician Chuck Roberts. He'll be doing some scenarios in which you're likely to encounter with your gas grill, with your charcoal grill, show you how to do things safely, how to make sure your equipment is in good maintenance condition, and how not to have things get out of control, and especially what to do if they do get out of control. Accidents do happen. We want you to know that you can call 911 if you think that something's wrong, if you think there's propane leaking, if you've dumped your charcoal grill over. We can help you with those situations. Hopefully you can use the tips that you're about to see to keep yourself and your family safe throughout the year when you're grilling. If you have any questions after seeing this, please call the Troy Fire Department at 248-524-3419. A lot of people have gas grills, and they're a convenient, easy thing that we can use to go outside, have a steak or chicken on the barbecue with our families. And before the season starts, we want to make sure our grill is ready and that we're doing that in a safe manner. Fire Technician Chuck Roberts is ready to show us. We have a propane cylinder, which is a 20-pound propane cylinder, which is the average cylinder you'll find for a gas grill. On the top, on the very top knob, there should be, in some letters stamped on there, the letters OPD, and that stands for overpressure device. Any propane cylinder that's in use today needs to have an overpressure device. That keeps it from releasing and venting or storing extra propane. When the temperature rises and falls, the amount of propane in that cylinder will change. We don't want the cylinder to get overpressurized, so there is a relief device that's installed in those. If you have a cylinder that's old, it's not in good condition, it's very rusted, it's dented, you should take that to a reputable dealer. Home Depot, U-Haul here in Troy, several of the larger stores carry propane exchanges, and you can go and exchange that tank for a newer one that has been looked at and examined and is able to be used. Once you've made sure that your tank is in good condition and usable, check your hoses. Make sure that the hose is in good condition, it's not worn, it's not got any damage to it. Make sure that there's nothing inside both the cylinder opening as well as the connector opening. Make sure that the threads are in good condition, and then go ahead and hook it up. You should secure it so that it's tight, but not over tight. The other thing you need to make sure of is that you open the grill, especially at the beginning of the summer, or if you don't use your grill very often. Wasp nests, birds conveniently like to get in the holes on the side of your grill, and they will build nests in there. Maybe your wife or your husband have left something in there that's plastic. That can happen at home if you leave something in your oven. It's the same thing that can happen here on a gas grill. Once everything's looking in good condition, your inside equipment is in good condition, there are no spider webs. I don't do spiders, so they're not allowed in my grill. But once we've verified that it's clean, we're ready to get started. So Chuck is going to make sure the gas valve is turned on. And once he gets that turned on, he's going to turn it to the light position. Make sure you're familiar with your grill's instructions, how to operate it. He's going to try the automatic lighter. That's a battery-operated switch. Most grills today are equipped with them. If it doesn't work, you may need a new battery. If the grill's pretty old, you might need to go over and get your handy lighter. So he's got the grill turned on, the knobs are turned on, and he's going to attempt to light it, and now we have a grill that's lit, and that's the safe way to do things. There is some recreational fire allowed in Troy. You can have a small 3-foot by 3-foot by 3-foot in dimension campfire for the purpose of a religious ceremony or cooking or just having a good time with the family. This can cause a problem too, though. You want to make sure that you're within the city ordinance that says the size you can have. You want to make sure that you're far enough away from a structure, a minimum of 20 feet from the structure. You can only burn seasoned, dry firewood. You cannot burn trash, leaves, pine branches, the stuff that fell down during the storm, nothing that was recently alive. It has to be seasoned dry firewood. That way we reduce the amount of smoke. We don't get calls for the fire department saying something's on fire and we don't know what it is, so we send emergency crews over to handle it, only to find out it's somebody having a leaf burning party in their backyard. We want to make sure that we're lighting this safely. Something you never want to do is to put gasoline or lighter fluid or any other flammable liquid on this to get it started. So we want to make sure that we never use flammable liquids with a campfire. And we're going to demonstrate what happens. We've got some gasoline already on these logs, and we're going to show, Fire Technician Roberts is going to show what happens when we touch this off. You saw how quickly that ignited. If you had been using a gas can with an already lit fire, that could have traveled back on the spout to the gas can with the liquid fuel and caused an ignition. You see how quickly that fire got up and going? It's not something that you want to do. Do not use gasoline. It's not worth getting a quick fire. The other thing you want to make sure of, you see we've got this in a metal bucket. It's contained. It's out where it can't catch anything else on fire. While we do have a little wind today where we're working, if there's a heavy wind where you're at, you don't want to have a campfire. This stuff can take off and small brands can get loose and start field fires. We don't want that to happen. So make sure you look at our website for the Troy Fire Department. On the city's website, we have all of the information on having an open fire in your backyard and how to do it safely. And if you're in doubt, give us a call at the office. We can answer any of those questions. When you have an outside fire, campfire, you want to make sure that you have a means nearby readily available to extinguish the fire. Your hose in your garage is not readily available. We recommend a garden hose at the very least. If you have to have a bucket, make sure that it's filled. Make sure if you're using an extinguisher that it's able to be used, it's within its all hydro date, and that it's been serviced and tagged if necessary. We picked up one earlier here that was laying around our training center. It did not work, so that's not a good plan. This one has been recently serviced and tagged. It is within its date for usage, so Fire Technician Roberts is going to extinguish our outside fire. Again, we recommend a garden hose, because if you put this product on your fire, you probably won't have a fire anytime in the near future afterward. But it does work effectively. We also have the ability to use charcoal to have an outdoor fire, and some people would tell you that's really the only way to barbecue is using charcoal or wood. But charcoal can be just as dangerous as gas. As you see, we've got, thanks to our Home Depot in Troy, they donated us some vinyl siding for us, and you see it's already starting to melt. This charcoal grill, if it were a gas grill, it doesn't matter. It's way too close to the house. A few years ago, we had an occasion where we had more than 3 fires, house fires, that were caused by people having their grill too close to the structure. So make sure that you have enough clearance that you're not going to melt your siding. Once you melt the siding, you get into the Tyvek coating behind it. A lot of times there's foam board for insulation behind this. All of that is easily ignitable. Some of that foam board ignites very easily, so once you get it hot enough to melt your vinyl siding, you could end up with an actual house fire, and we don't want that to happen. So the other thing that happens with charcoal is people say, oh, it's not burning fast enough, and they have the tendency to want to use charcoal lighter on an already hot charcoal fire. So when he does that, you see that it ignited immediately, and depending on the conditions, again, we're dealing with wind here, so it took the flame away, but depending on the conditions, it could have traveled back up that spout into the container that that product is in, and you know, now you're spilling flammable burning liquid all over and potentially into your house. What we want to stress during all these demonstrations is, if there is a sign that something's out of control or about to get out of control, you have a leaking propane tank, there's fire that, you know, your siding's melted, you're not sure did it catch the house on fire, call 911. Get the fire department on the way. We don't charge you We're not going to send you to jail or anything. We want to make sure that we get to the scene as quickly as possible so we can make a small incident, keep it small, and not get into a house fire. Especially it's 85, 90 degrees out. We don't want our firefighters wearing all of this turnout gear. We want to make sure that we're ending a situation with as little damage to the house as possible and no one gets hurt. Call 911. If the gas is leaking, if the propane won't shut off, if your propane grill catches fire, don't try to shut off that propane yourself. If you reach down there and the propane gets to the point where it can blow up, you're going to get hurt very badly and potentially even be killed. So call 911. That's what we want to stress here. That's what we're there for. That's what the fire department does. We can come, hopefully make sure that nothing else is on fire, and be on our way. A lot of people like to have their barbecue grill or their regular grill on their deck. It's a nice place to enjoy having this. The problem is especially these barbecue grills on the 3 legs can be a little bit unsteady at times. You've got pets, you've got kids running around. If somebody snags a corner on this, this can all dump over onto your nice wood deck. And wood is combustible. It catches fire, it can burn, and it can be deep-seated. So Fire Technician Roberts is going to dump our charcoal on our wood and show you. You saw the flame that happened when that got out of there. And while it might take a little bit for this to start up, if this is in this condition, you saw how the coals spread. That could go underneath the deck, start a grass fire. The coals on top of the deck are going to remain hot for some time. This is something that you'd want to clean up right away. So you can see right in here, we've got already, it's just been a minute or two, and we've got charring to the wood here, charring over here, charring in the back. Underneath this pile is all turned black already. So in just a few minutes time, we're going to have a pretty good fire going on this deck. This is why I stress calling 911, even for something that may seem so insignificant as you've just dumped your charcoal grill over and you have hot coals. This is something that you do want to take care of and make sure that you get all the coals, and that any fire, especially in these areas where you can see that the fire is now starting in the wood around the coals, if we don't take care of that and go to clean wood around there, that can continue to smolder for some time. You're in bed sleeping and your neighbors are pounding on your door trying to tell you that your house is on fire because it went from the deck to your house.